Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillion, and thank you for joining me as we go over volume 4 of the A Certain Scientific Accelerator manga series. A volume that was jam-packed with action from start to finish, where we see Esther and Hitomikawa versus the members of Scavenger. Also, Accelerator enters the scene and just makes this volume that much more epic. But before we do, I do want to just go over the cover of this volume. And it's really simple, yet very effective. The colours that are used help to kind of set the background, make it a bit eerie and mysterious, but at the same time, it makes Accelerator's character pop out from the image behind it, drawing you to the actual character themselves, and seeing the members of Team Scavenger in the background there was just a nice little touch, which I really did like. So then, the battle between Team Hitomikawa and Esther versus Scavenger. It begins, and I thought that this fight actually helps build up all characters involved. Hitomikawa and Esther basically show off some really neat moves and necromancer skills in a way that kind of helps make the battle flow really nicely. Like, we see this kind of technique from Esther in where she uses like the dirt to help boost the physical and defense and offense of the, her friend, basically, that's fighting on her behalf. So I thought that was really cool. Again, a scene that I'd like to see animated, but I'm holding off until I finish the actual series before I watch the anime show. But overall, I thought that it showed smarts from these two characters, and yeah, I'd like to see how it goes for moving forward. Hitomikawa's kind of durability when she keeps getting hit was quite nice to see as well. It shows that her body is very defensive. Always nice. While on the other hand, we have the members of Scavenger shown in a lot more cooler and interesting way. Especially when it comes to skills from these characters, and one character in particular, which is Naru. Her bunny-like form that she goes into at the end of the last volume and she uses in this volume was actually a lot better than I thought it would be. And seeing how it functions even after being destroyed, it has one part where the head gets taken off for the most part, and yet she can still use it as if it was brand new, I thought was quite nice. Plus, she can change the shape and form of the paper that she's controlling, while she is moving in her form and also while it's being blown apart. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's a nice touch, and it shows that she has good control over ability. It was stated that Naru's character, if she was scanned, would probably come out as a level 3. But actually, it's more on the lines of a level 4 ability, which makes her pretty strong. But at the same time, I just thought it was a good showcasing. But as well as just the fighting, we do also see a very good showcasing from the leader of the group, Rita, as she's able to assess the situation and come up with counter moves and strategies, like the advice that she gave to Naru in creating a digging type weapon that would get through the dirt kind of armor that Estelle kind of created. I thought the art style throughout the fights was really, really good, but there was one problem that I did have, and that was the drill that Naru creates. It wasn't really that clear or obvious as to what it was at first, just by looking at the panels that we see her using it in. Well, at least to me anyway. It took me a few reads and a few panels kind of looking over again to kind of actually go, yeah, alright, that's a drill. They're basically drilling into it. Honestly, I thought it was just like a big rocket launcher or a blaster, and I thought, how is that going to dig? Like, I don't get it. But at the same time, apart from that, all the other art style and the fight scenes, the choreography, everything just flowed really well. As a side note, I love the little boxer comedy that we get throughout this fight between these characters, in where Esther's like, I don't want to fight you girls, and then the one dude just there like, yo, boy. A joke that I missed on my first read through of this volume, but now that I know that Psyche is a boy, it makes a lot more sense. But then Accelerator enters the battle, and this volume manages to step up to another level. And I personally found myself smiling all the way through this segment of the volume. The fight where Accelerator enters and he fights a member of Team Scavenger, or kind of slaughters them, to put it lightly, was fantastic. It's just the facial expressions and everything else that goes into it, the kind of horrified look on the eyes, the desperation, the comedy, everything was brilliant. The look of dread and shock from every member of Scavenger was priceless. And the playful comedy between Accelerator and the leader, where they're always like, say something. And Accelerator's like, something. And then obviously he kind of throws it back at him at the end, and I thought that was great. Accelerator kind of plays on his own personality though, because we know that he's off the rails. We know he's kind of crazy and off the hinges almost. And I love the fact that he's also a bit arrogant in this, and you know, he just comes across as like, you guys are pathetic. An insect's getting crushed by an insect. I thought it was, you know, it worked to his character, and it put him in a scene where it made his character seem quite realistic. And how could I not talk about the wetting of the pants? Rita was so scared after hearing Accelerator's name that she just froze, and in the end passed out while wetting herself. I thought that was pretty funny, and I liked the fact they did actually add that kind of shading towards that area. It was just, you know, at the end of the day, these members of Scavenger are just children. And yes, Accelerator's not a child, but he's, you know, a teenager. So, I mean, what can you really expect? But to Salvager's credit, though, their combo attack was actually pretty cool. And I'm not sure that many people who aren't level 5s would be able to survive that attack. I mean, it's quite a powerful attack, and it's only because Accelerator is able to manipulate vectors and God knows what else at this point, he's able to kind of counteract that and come away unscathed. If, say, someone like, I don't know, the first name that comes to my head is Uiharu, but yeah, she would get absolutely destroyed. I'm trying to think of somebody else. I mean, if someone like Style or, I guess Kanzaki might fight her way out of it, but you get the idea. So we end the volume off with the cliffhanger that Hishigata is now entering the battlefield, looking for that Misa clone that was meant to be delivered to him. And it looks like that we're going to be getting this Accelerator versus Hishigata fight, where Hishigata is in this robot kind of suit next volume, and hopefully that doesn't disappoint. Now, there's a small chance that we don't get this fight just yet, and it's just a case of grabbing a clone and bye. If that happens, then hopefully the story kind of builds a bit more, and we learn a bit more about Harumin, because that name gets dropped again in this volume, and it's not elaborated on. All we know is that Estelle actually knows this character. So, let's hope we get a bit more clarification on that moving forward. Overall though, I really like this volume. The fights were all drawn and choreographed really well. Everything flowed really nicely, and the characters of Accelerator was fantastic. Plus, even though Team Scavenger lost quite heavily and brutally, I still really like the dynamic that these characters have together. So I hope that we get to see them soon. Sometimes when you see a villain get taken down or an antagonist get taken down, you're like, don't really care about them anymore then. What a waste that was. But no, these characters actually don't lose any momentum in terms of like being really great and really good in my opinion. I just really like them still. However, I want you to let me know your thoughts on this volume down in the comment section below. Do you agree with something that I've said, or do you disagree? If you had, let me know why you disagree down in the comment section below. And like the video if you like the video, dislike if you dislike, but give me some constructive criticism to let me know why. Other than that though, I hope you have an amazing day. Arigato, matane, goodbye.